to stream every day because I never know where I'm gonna be.
Yeah, well, I'm home all the time, so I get reminded of that every day. You're home all the time. Why didn't you get this done? It's like, gee.
Yeah, well, he can no longer use that excuse because he's home all the time. I'm like, you're home too, you can do dishes. You're home too, you can do laundry. Help with it anyways. You're home too, you can clean the bathroom.
Yeah, well, I tell my husband that anyway because, we agreed a long time ago to split up the chores and. Oh, and I'm streaming, by the way, so don't say anything that I don't want on my stream.
Yeah. No, I was gonna. I don't mean to be a pest, but I was gonna get off here anyway.
Oh, no, that's good. You helped me with my problem.
Okay, I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Love you. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay. So, hi. Sorry I didn't start the stream with hi, but, yeah, I was talking to my sister because I couldn't run our Swiffer. Turns out you have to have the right pad thing on the Swiffer, and we figured that out, and then it was all good. So, yeah, 'cause I woke up to a mess this morning. One of the kitties decided to go outside the litter box. Um, and I don't know why. So there was a big puddle. And so anyway, I got that taken care of, and thanks to my sister, I tried to ask my husband, because he knows how to use the dang thing, right? I just needed an explanation, that's all. But he wasn't willing to do it. So I was like, fine, I'll do it later. Well, then my sister, helped me figure it out. All good. I mean, yeah, he's at work. Um, I think he said he had just gotten to Sparks. Um, that's a Sparks is a, I think, smaller city that is kind of attached to Reno, or at least it's a different area. Anyway, you'll quite often hear people call it Reno Sparks, and apparently, if you find this Sparks pier, I think it is Sparks something. Anyway, it's by the waterfront. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Sparks Waterfront. I don't know. Anyway, they have a good 4th of July show. They say it's a really good 4th of July show. I've never seen it, so I don't know. Um, I think that South Lake Tahoe does a really good fireworks show, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to do that this year. I seriously doubt it, though. It's an, it's not a vehicle problem this time. Um, it's not a vehicle problem. It's a, would we have time to get up there? Would we be able to park? That kind of stuff. Anyway, if you could not touch that poster board, I'd very much appreciate it. And don't walk on that spot where the mess was. Yeah, you could come sit up on my lap. He literally just kind of looked up at my and looked up at the arm of the chair like, "Can I go up there?" Oh my goodness. Life with kitty cats. You know, it's like permanently having a toddler. Okay. Wait! What? So you'll notice it's Thursday and we're on Minecraft. Yeah, there's been a lot going on this morning. And I just needed to wind down for a little bit. I know, you're probably, if you've been on, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might be going, hey, when you worked at Walmart, you used GTA as anger management. Well, I'm a little angry at my husband, but, I'm not really, that level. It's more of I'm upset because I couldn't figure it out, and then, well, I kind of had it figured out, but I wasn't sure. Anyway, so, so we got the floor mopped. I mean, we got it cleaned up with paper towels, and then we got mopped. And yeah, I've washed my hands. Um, and I even got some of my story done. I could not focus on it yesterday. It's like I wanted to do it. I'm almost at page 200. I'm like excited. I'm almost at page 200, and I'm just like, yeah, let's do this, but it's not working out that way. So what I started doing last night, because I was getting really confused really fast, and I don't know why. So anyway, I decided to do, okay, one paragraph at a time. And that's, all that's all I worked on was that one paragraph. And I put that together, and then I put together the next paragraph and the next paragraph. And I didn't get the whole page done by the time that we needed to get on stream, but, in fact, we got on stream a little late, but at least we're here. Anyway, Sean, okay, so what I'm working on is Sean walked into the kitchen while Pepper is doing, she's putting dishes into the dishwasher, and our fifth dishwasher. I think it specifically said fifth dishwasher. But anyway, she's doing that, and Sean tells her that he needs a carrot. She asked why he was there, and what do you need? And he says that he needs a carrot. Well, he probably needs two carrots. Angel's that kind of horse. He's like, you can't bribe me with just one carrot. You have to bribe me with two carrots. So anyway, Sean starts helping with the dishes, and they're having this whole conversation. Sean ends up saying, "Can you keep a secret?" And she goes, "Well, I haven't told Uncle Hayden that you were dating his daughter, have I?" He goes, "I hope not." And, um, anyway, I'm sure he's gonna get the 2 carats. We haven't gotten that far yet. But I'm sure he's gonna get the 1 or 2 carats and, um, take it out to Angel. But the problem is that Angel likes it cut up. He likes little bite-sized pieces instead of having, the whole big carrot. And I don't know if I'm going to be on here until 11 today because I do have a sore finger. Like I said, I didn't get much done on that story. I probably will do something for GTA today. Yesterday I had the mountain lion and let's see here. I had the mountain lion, crow, and and the coyote. And the coyote was the problem child because I just couldn't get a picture of it, and then all of a sudden I did. So I was really happy about that. Anyway, so I decided I'd go on here for a little bit. Um, yeah, okay, so, I told you that, while I was working at Walmart in, either 2022 or 2023, can't remember. I want to say it was 22 though, because, I really want to say that it was 2022. Anyway, I was cashiering and I went and smacked my fingers, smacked 2 of my fingers into the little spokes that hold the bags, and I didn't think anything of it until, I thought the pain was going to go away, right? And we really didn't have money for medicine or anything like that, or maybe I was taking the medicine and it wasn't working. I'm not sure which. Speaking of that, I think I'm gonna take some when I get off stream. Maybe the finger will quit hurting. Anyway, it was still hurting 3 months later. So, anyway, the worst thing that happened yesterday was I smacked that same finger, because it's the middle finger and the ring finger. But I smacked both of them against the wall yesterday. Somehow, I don't know how I did it, but yeah, I smacked it against the wall. So it's not like major hurting. It's just, like when you have appendicitis or need your gallbladder out, something like that. It's not like that kind of soreness, but it does hurt. So I would prefer not to have to wear my finger braces when I go down to see Grandma, because everybody's going to ask me about it. They're going to ask me, "What'd you do?" And I'm going to be like, "Well, old Walmart injury, and smacked it against the wall, but it's going to be, it happened a month ago, and yeah." Then there's going to be the awkward questions of, "Why didn't you take it to the doctor?" And yeah. And that's because when my husband's home, he doesn't go and try to figure out a doctor we can go to. I'm hoping that we can go to Renown, because that is literally pretty much down the street. And um, actually, my father-in-law thinks they're quacks, but it's better than going to the hospital. Hospital gives you big bills. Um, you know, the hospital gives you big bills, and like one of the bills that we um owe money on is part of the gallbladder stuff, and it was $4,000, over $4,000. Another reason why I would very much like people to buy my books. Um, so it's kind of annoying because I've got the Swiffer right in front of my um, right in front of my TV stand where where my poster board is. On one side it says please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. And if you're watching me on Twitch right now, that's the info for YouTube. If you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. And then so, you know, I write books. We're not necessarily going to end the stream, but since I've said everything else, might as well say it now. I write books, and they are about my pirates. You know, it's a crew of it's a crew of pirates, and they're pretty much a family too. You know, um, and they all live together in a big mansion, and um, they are rich because of other enterprises, um, but in one of the coming up books, it's going to be that Katie was going through her things and she found a treasure map and she gives it to the the younger captain of the Rolling Sea as a challenge, and B, a special treat for now also being a captain. So that summer they're going to go out and try to find that treasure. And maybe they take Katie with them. I don't know. But I really think that Katie would be one of those people that, okay, it's your ship now, but then, you know, keeps trying to take over every chance she gets. Or maybe it's not, you know, maybe it's not just, okay, because I think they came home early. I think they came home early. And I can't remember if they came home early that summer or not. The series, you know, I haven't written anything past that, so, well, anything solid past that. So, I mean, technically that's not true. I've written books past that point. But yeah, technically I've written stuff past that point, but it has nothing to do with what's going on in the story at that point. So it doesn't flow right into the next one. It just jumps, it jumps to a whole different part of the book. Um, oh dang, we're like way past that. Okay. Oh, I was trying to make it to where it was like, to where we could work above ground. Well, if you can hear what I'm hearing, it's just a noise in the game. It's okay. The game made a weird noise. Like if you took the, like when the steamship goes, like that, but digitized. And Bobby was like, what the heck was that? So I seem to think that I'm just streaming at the wrong time. Like nobody's awake at this point. Because when FWIP is streaming at 11 o'clock my time. Oh, yeah, that'd be 11 o'clock his time too. Anyway, when he's streaming, he's got all kinds of people. So, I don't know what's going on there. But, I've got to stream at this time because of the fact that, if I don't stream when I first get up, or, from 8 to 11, I will just forget to stream, or, it gets sloppy to where it's like, maybe I'm doing it on Monday and Thursday or something like that. And yeah, so doing this at 8 o'clock is working like really good. Um, for me. I don't know if it's working for everybody else though. Um, and I know this is a little silly, but, like, if you wanted to watch, like, say, FWIP or Waddles or anybody else that you watch on Twitch, and you wanted to have me on the screen too, um, like, you can open up multiple windows and, watch like 6 different people at once if you wanted to. I don't know if everybody knows that, so. They probably want you to think that when you're watching people that you can only watch one at once, but I've actually had it to where mine was open and my husband's, because I don't know why, but he cannot see the chat on his tablet. I don't know if that's because Twitch is actually supposed to be a computer thing or what, you know? But I play on my Xbox and I watch the chat to my left on my computer. And So, like, if I'm not seeing your chat, that's a good reason why, because my TV's ahead of me, like most TVs are, and then I've got what is going on here? Where am I? Oh, okay. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I was like thinking about having breakfast before stream, or my peanut butter toast. I was thinking about having that before stream, and then I saw the big puddle, and I'm like, oh man, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to have breakfast this morning. I mean, not have breakfast, just not have breakfast then. Oh, yeah, that kind of doesn't work, does it? That's one of the small problems of having pets or kids. Um, that you never know when they're going to make that big mess that drives you crazy. You just never know. So, so there's an episode of Nash Bridges I don't really like because it seemed like the two characters were going to get together, they're going to get married, live happily ever after, and the big problem is that they killed off one of those two, and I don't know why they did that. It was probably something. Um, it was probably something like the actor was asking for too much money, or something. It was probably something to where like the actor was asking for too much money, or he had a shot to get on a different TV show, like a movie, and it was a great opportunity for him. I have no idea what exactly happened, but I wanted to see them like get married, have babies. Um, I didn't know how they were going to do the baby thing because they were both going to be cops. So, I don't know how that worked. And he was only shot in the gut. You get shot in the gut and they can patch you up, no problem. Even back when. So, like, that's another thing in my books. We've got a doctor that can fix anything. Um, even um, I gave I think it was William Sr., some form of rare cancer that, like nobody lives from. And I hope I made it up. I am hoping I made it up because I know that's probably a sore subject for a lot of people. Um, my grandma had some kind of she was diabetic and she had some kind of cancer, and I can't remember which, you know, what kind, but um, it's not really important to the story. Um, but she kicked its butt. And Mama had, I want to say, breast cancer, and God willing, me and my sister will not get that. Um, anyway, like, I don't even know if cancer is hereditary, but, I really don't want it. For once, I want to be on, the side of my dad's side of the family where, we get gallbladder problems and not cancer. Um, we go out with not being able to breathe because that's what got grandma. She was older and in her 90s, and I think she ended up just not being able to breathe that great. She was on a breathing machine, and I got very upset because we went there for her 90th birthday. Um, yeah, we went there for her 90th birthday to her church because she wanted all her family with her at church, right? And they're like, first of all, they were treating us like we were um, strangers. Normally, churches don't do that. They usually go, "Hey, welcome! Thank you for coming." All that stuff. They were treating us like we had just broken into the place, and we walked into the front door. They're treating me, my husband, like we were at a, say, rave club. I don't even know what the difference between a club and a rave club is, but like we had gone to a rave club and took the opportunity while the bouncers in the bathroom to walk in the door when we weren't on the guest list, kind of thing. They were treating us like that, and I'm like, I've been going to this church ever since I was born. I was probably going to that church since before I was born. Like when mom's pregnant. Yeah, I've been going to this church for I don't know how long, and they didn't know who grandma was. My grandpa helped build the church. So, yeah. It's not always good when youngins go and take over the duties that the older people were taken care of before because nobody bothers to tell them these things. And it was a very strange church. Um, it's it's the Church of Christ on. Well, okay, I don't know what street. Um, I want to say Union, but I may be wrong. I may be totally wrong. But anyway, it's in Fairfield, California, and like I said, my grandpa helped build that church. I'm not saying he built it, single handed or anything like that, but he helped build that church when he was younger. And Actually, I don't know what age he was when he helped build that church. I just knew that he helped build it, and I thought it was horrible that they had no idea who he was. I mean, who they were. It's like one of the oldest members, not meaning that they're old, just, one of the oldest members, and they had no idea who they were. Apparently they've been going to that church since it was built. You ought to know your church members. Yeah. Anyway. I think that I'm having a little bit of upset because of certain things going on at the moment, and because of this dumb finger. And anyway, so when it gets to be 9 o'clock, maybe I'll do something on GTA. I don't know what. I keep neglecting that car wash, so maybe we'll do a car wash thing. I really hate doing the taxi missions. And it's literally just go and pick this person up over here, drop them off over there, and then you got another mission to do the same exact thing in another direction. And actually, it's probably a really good way to figure out the map. But that's something I'm afraid of with GTA 6, is that I know the map of GTA 5. So, like I know the map. Well, what if I mean, I'll be in the same boat as everybody else, but what if they have a map that I don't know or don't know very well, and I'm lost all the time again. Okay, so I want to save the llamas. I don't care about him. But I want to save the llamas. Yeah, it's like, okay, so say they wanted to, um, there's like a new version of Minecraft for the, um, we'll call it the PlayStation 6. Um, and the Xbox Infinity or something like that. I don't know what the next Xbox will be called, but that does actually sound pretty cool. Um, but anyway, and they wanted to make girl villagers, so it makes more sense. So then you have to have a girl villager and a boy villager to make a baby villager. What was my point to all that? Oh, how would you design the villager so it looks like a girl? I'm wondering. Well, I'm kind of thinking, like, instead of having the big old nose, like, have half the size of the nose. But maybe they looked really weird when they were half the size of the nose. And that's why they have the big nose. I don't know. Anyway. So, yeah, my goal is to finish this chapter and maybe the next one. And I'll probably do it a paragraph at a time. So so the program that I'm using is Speechalo, and I love it. Except for that, sometimes you fall in love with the way the voice sounds, and then all of a sudden, the next time you listen to it, it's like, how could I have liked that voice? Because it doesn't sound the same, and then the next day it does sound the way that you remember it, and then like another day it totally does not sound right. Yeah, it's just weird. But um anyway, you can like have two uh well, we'll say two pieces of paragraph and fuse them together, so then when it reads it, it's one big paragraph. And it's really awesome. And I'm like, I'm excited, but I'm not excited all at the same time to get the rest of the book done because it's taking so long. I always go through this. It's just me. I'm, I'm like right now going through the thing of, okay, I'm almost at page 200. So I'm like really excited about it, but then I'm like, but then that's only going to be halfway through the book. And that's not even halfway through the book because it's 428 pages. I looked the other yesterday, and at the time it was 428 pages. And like I've been saying, it's about 428 pages. Well, yeah. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I've been saying the right number. And I was all excited. Um, so, I've got a challenge for you all. Just a small one. And don't worry, you'll like it. Um, okay, so Walmart has finger braces, which is the best thing that I can think of to fix my sore fingers, is the finger braces at the moment anyway. Um, anyway, have a finger brace on 3 fingers on your left hand, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky finger. And try to eat your In-N-Out burger with that. Yeah. And then please share your experience, because for me it hurt. It was not fun. But I did end up eating the whole thing. Um so so I got to the point where I'm just like, the burger was kind of falling apart. And I don't necessarily like to eat the whole bun anyway. So it wasn't a big deal. There was just, like a little bit left. Um, but it was like it only had lettuce and tomato, so I don't have to eat that. Normally I try to eat the whole thing. We've been getting uh, we get the double double because it has more food in has more food in it. And um like it used to be that I could not eat a double double, but then the big hamburger. It used to be that I could not eat that, and now I can. But is that really a good thing or not? I don't know. But like when I ate the smaller burger, it wasn't enough. So so we used to get the two different burgers, and I mean the two different kinds of burgers, and it was only $20. Well, now it's 22 because I think they raised the prices a little bit, and I've been getting the bigger burger. So not the best idea I've had, but it's not that bad either. But the only reason why we went there last night, we would have had some kind of food at home, but during a certain time of the month, I need not all not every month either, but I need Coca-Cola to um chase the yucky feeling in my tummy away. Um, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. It's really annoying, and it comes around once a month. Yeah. Try not to say too much, because what if a kid's watching? But anyway, you know, it is. It's really annoying, and I'm hoping that next month it happens before or after our vacation. I really am. Anyway, I think I'm gonna try to work on my story today, and maybe, maybe have my videos playing in the background instead of Nash Bridges. Um, so I don't think my husband's seen season 3, and I don't think that he's, seen much of season 4 or 5. But we've definitely seen almost all the episodes of 6. But it doesn't make sense without the other stuff. And one of the episodes that we watched or the end of the episode that we watched yesterday, the end of the episode that we watched yesterday, I was a little disappointed, only because, okay, so like I said, they killed off one of the characters, and he'd been there since day 1, I think. If not day 1, definitely, somewhere in season 1. But I think day 1. Anyway, he'd been there for, ever, and they killed him off. So, thing is that when, Nash's daughter Cassidy was talking to him, she said, I, um, I'm joining the police academy. I already took the test. It was the most exciting job I could come up with. And she also said that she had graduated second in the class. So that's a really good honor. That's a really awesome honor, being that good. And she didn't tell her dad that at all at the end of the episode. But it was weird because it was like, Nash was like, oh my gosh, what do you think? And, she's like doing this with the look. It's like, oh my gosh. And then it was like, what do you think, Nick? And Nick seemed to be, um, Nick's his dad, but for some reason he calls him Nick instead because they like, I guess they didn't get along before. Because his dad's always, um, his dad's um, always calling him Bobby instead of Nash. But his dad knows it's Nash, but he's always, like they lost Bobby in the war way back when. They don't know if he got shot down or if he was, um, working with the enemy or what. They don't know what happened. I mean, he got shot down, but they didn't know if he survived or what. And it turns out that he did, but then he got shot by somebody else, and so anyway, his I think Nash's nephew that he didn't know he had moved back to Australia. Um, moved back to Australia or wherever he lived. I want to say it was Australia though. I would kind of like to see Australia, at least once before I, go on my extended vacation. But I'm afraid of like dingoes and and the giant anaconda snakes and or whatever snake they have there. Because I think anacondas are like in um Africa, but and I'm kind of wondering if they're poisonous to humans. Why did God make them? I'm just saying, I can't see Adam, yeah, how, everybody started out with Adam and Eve and then, they got together, made babies, and, eventually I mean, made the whole world. I can't see him sitting there playing with an anaconda, keeping it as a pet and, petting it, it's guarding the Garden of Eden, I can't see that. If they were poisonous at the time. So, I mean, some people would argue that it's dinosaurs. But I'm wondering if maybe, seriously, I'm wondering if maybe it wasn't, dinosaurs as we think of them. Maybe it was just much bigger sizes of the animals we have now. I don't know, but, I'm definitely not a scientist person because I don't know what you would call a dinologist. But, like, I'm obviously not qualified to actually answer that question. But I'm wondering if that's what happened because, you see all these different animals that we have now, and I'm wondering if, like, in, say, Robin Hood times, did all these animals look the same, or did they look slightly different? Were they bigger? Were they smaller? You know? They said, they said in, in one of the Babysitters Club books, they're living in a house that is so old that it has a water pump inside the house. Um, what was that movie? Well, no, Helen Keller had that on the outside. But there was a movie. Okay, there was a movie. I don't remember what it was at the moment, but I know that they were like, they were trying to use the water pump. It's inside, they were trying to use the water pump, and it didn't seem like it was working. And then as soon as they walked away, that's when the water went. But I can't think of what it is because I know on Cheaper by the Dozen too, she just turns water on, and then all of a sudden it was um, a geyser getting her wet. And that probably was not a good thing because she was pregnant. What movie was that? That's going to drive me crazy now. And I think on Beetlejuice they had a regular sink. You know they had a regular sink on Home Alone. Um, I'm just trying to think of movies with sinks. Um, okay, so there's Cheaper by the Dozen 1, Cheaper by the Dozen 2. But what's the other movie? No, Yours, Mine, and Ours. They definitely did not have a pump. Um, I don't know. I want to say it was something like that movie with Tim Allen. I think it was Kirstie Alley, and they're in the witness protection program. I want to say either that or they're just running from the bad guys, and that's where they ended up. But I want to say that they're in the witness protection program. Anyway, and they got sent to Amish country. So these are people that are used to watching TV, listening to the radio, having electricity, um, and not having an outhouse to go to the bathroom in. And they're all of a sudden having to live as Amish people, um, who don't have electricity. When you need a blanket, they go and, sew one up for you, kind of thing, or crochet, or however they make blankets. Um, that's the thing. With Grandma being up there in heaven, there's a small problem. Nobody will ever have crocheted Ninja Turtle people and and dolls and stuff like that from my grandma anymore. Now, if somebody that is watching this video at some point would like to make Ninja Turtle people, crocheted Ninja Turtle people, and dolls and stuff, please do so. Because I think that's a lost art right there. I don't want to learn how to do it. I don't I'm not able to do stuff like that. You give me like plastic canvas and I might be able to do that. When I was little, we had these it's kind of like pegboard, and like it made a shoe and it made a house and maybe a doll or something like that. But it was just a board and you put, shoelaces in it. And I liked that. I don't know if that was meant to teach me how to sew, but, I loved doing it and kind of wish I had it now, for like when the electricity goes out. It's kind of scary when the electricity goes out because does it ever go out during the day? No, it waits until night. So then it's all windy outside and it's going whoosh and it's a really loud whoosh and you're like wondering if a tornado's coming, but it's not. And because there was a tornado in California one time, a real actual tornado, and um I know about that because there was a dad and a daughter and they had to hide in one of the um under the overpass. You know how the road goes over the freeway, to get to the other side, and there's that space underneath the bridge where it connects up on the other side. Yeah, they had to hide there and just hold on tight. There was nothing to hold on to, and um, I don't remember them even saying where that was, but it was a scary thing. So I'm like, if that ever happens to us, that's where we'll be probably. Um, because unlike movies, you really cannot. Uh, un, unlike the movies, you really can't drive around the weather. When it's a tornado. I don't think. Not entirely sure. I don't live in tornado country, so. Um, but like I said, there was that one tornado in California one time. So it's like if there can be a tornado in California, wow. And it was Northern California too. Anyway, I remember the weirdest things from the news. Oh, I said at 9 we were going to switch over to GTA real quick. So I actually found out that it is almost impossible for you to hear my story through my headset because it blocked it out. And I don't know why. I wanted it playing. It wasn't a bad part. So I wanted it playing to kind of, advertise it. And I don't know how I would do it if it was a bad part, but um, the only other idea I can come up with is get a copy of Fillmore Wondershare and um, figure out how to put it in somehow, because I tried to put audio in there one time and it did not work. So I would have to like contact the company and say, okay, how do I do this? I was able to do this on older technology. How do I do this now? Um, or if I could fix OBS Studio, because somehow it thinks I don't have a camera plugged in. It doesn't have the internal camera, it just has the plug-in camera. And I don't know why I did that, but if I could get the internal camera to work again. Well, I mean, I know why I did that, because the internal camera was getting in the way. Like, every time I tried to use OBS Studio, it was seeing the internal camera before it was seeing the external camera. And I needed it to use the external camera. So, I don't know if I'd have to um, re, you know, uninstall and reinstall, or what. Anyway, I know this is not the day for this, but I just felt like doing this instead. I kind of feel like I'm letting you down because, like, I do my 15 different games or whatever it is in a week, and, we're not doing the proper game today. So I just kind of feel like I'm letting y'all down. But, like, everything was happening this morning. No! There we go. I still have trouble if it really was a suicide, because it seems like a very cleverly figured out um I'm saying the Robin Williams not being with us anymore. I have trouble figuring out how they didn't think that it looked like a somebody else did it thing. I mean, they probably took into account that I watch too many cop shows, by the way. But they probably took into account that he was manic depressive and just decided, that's probably what happened. And, nobody really knows what happened, but it seemed more like somebody had, when I was presented with the evidence that they had on YouTube, it seemed more like to me that it was definitely somebody broke into the house, or like maybe they knew him or somehow got onto the estate, because I'm just assuming it's an estate instead of just a house. but got onto the estate and uh, he let the guy in thinking, okay, it's just a fan, and then that's what happened. I I don't know. Um, you know, because it seemed a little too perfect, or it didn't seem right to me the way it was presented. Like, there had to have been a second person. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of bad stuff today. Okay, so what's a good thing that we can think of? Um, because I thought of three scenario. Well, I thought of three scenarios this morning. Either either Sam was trying to make a statement, or Sam was down, Bobby was down, and he scared her. The big mess from this rain that I was telling you about earlier. Um, and he scared her, and that was the result. Or I really need to take Ben to the doctor, and I'm hoping it's not that third option. Because, like, this kind of thing is going to result in needing blood work. And that is expensive. Thing is that we're still trying to figure out how we can make enough money to get the HOA paid, and we're trying to go on this trip next month. My husband was trying to set it up yesterday, and we never got back around to it. Um, I, I literally had to. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's only one In-N-Out in Fairfield, California. The rest of them are in, Vacaville, Vallejo, Rio Vista, whatever. Um, I don't know if there's one in Rio Vista, by the way. Just in case you live in that area. I have no idea. I know that at one point in August of 2000, they had a question mark chevron that was attached to a McDonald's. And that was like, wow. That was back when we could eat, when I could eat at McDonald's and not get indigestion. But, like, we all thought that was wow. So, well, my sister, and my brother, at the very least, were like, wow. That was the last time I was at Disneyland. And we always wanted to go back there, now that we're grown-ups. We always wanted to go back there to Disneyland as a family, and, if we get to go again, we're not gonna be able to have the whole family because Mama's not here. But that's okay because we can watch the video and it'll feel like Mama's there, you know? Or like maybe one of the days we'll have, um, maybe one of the days we'll have, shirts with Mama's face on it. don't understand why. I just realized we have a video of us at Disneyland. Um, Me, my dad, and my mama, and she's wearing a sweater, and I don't think I was. So I'm questioning why. And then I think my dad had his jean jacket on. And I know that at one point I had my leather jacket. I always wanted a black one when I was a kid. I always wanted a black one, but I had like a reddish um like a dark red, so it was like brown too. Anyway, it was a nice sweater. I mean, a nice jacket. And I always wanted a black one because Fonzie on Happy Days, he had a black leather jacket. And somebody else, probably, Hogan from Hogan's Heroes. He had like a bomber jacket and it was kind of looking like a leather jacket, probably. Or maybe Paunchy on Chips had one. It's kind of weird because you get to be a cop on a TV show and you're always called by your last name. You know, like they call you Danny sometimes, but mostly they call you Reagan. That's something I wish Samsung TV Plus had, is the Blue Bloods channel. They have like the cop drama channel, and it has Blue Bloods on it, but I don't reliably know what time of day it's on and all that. I think I've got all of the seasons except for 11 or 12. So I can always put those in the DVD player, or well, the Xbox. I don't want to, I don't want to use the Xbox too much for that sort of thing. But the way we have it set up right now, it's not like you can have the DVD player on and the Xbox on at the same time. Because, obviously they'd be using the same TV. Okay. We have to do something GTA today because it's Thursday. Or something Forza Horizon. I don't know what. I mean, the problem with Forza Horizon is that I've gotten to Forza Horizon 5. I've gotten to the point where I cannot get to the next thing because I can't. Like there's things where you go to a certain part of the map, and there's like 5 different things you have to do in there's like 5 different things you have to do, and they do not have check marks on them, so you don't know if they did them, if you did all 5 of them, or if you just did four of them, or, like maybe it's, um, or like maybe it's set up to where, um, one, once you get the fifth thing done, a sixth thing shows up, something like that. And it just does not seem to work because you got to be able to do all of those. I don't know if this is a thing for everybody's Xbox, but for mine, it seems like you have to do all six of those races in one sitting, and I can't do that. I only stream for a certain amount of time. I even tried to do that on a day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stream today. And I could not get through all of them. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, let's get through some of this. Anyway. Alright, what is something good that we can talk about? Well, like I said, I'm working on page 175 out of 428. So, let's see here. That'd be two. So like I got 253 left. No, that doesn't sound right. Wait a minute. Let's do the math. On the... No! Okay, 428 minus 175. Yeah, 253. That doesn't sound too bad. Wow. Okay. That sounds good. Anyway, so I got that much done. And, all I have to do is get like 53 pages done, and I'll only have 200 left, and then get another 100 done, and then I'll have 100 left. And I'm still trying to get this done before before the end of the day before we go on vacation. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Like I said, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna sure try. And I want to be able to go to the Jelly Belly factory while we're there. We didn't get to go last time. And like it was a big novelty for the longest time for everybody apparently. And then all of a sudden it's not, as somebody said, it wasn't doing so hot as, like a business. So so something about they're gonna shut it down. And I think that's nuts. They're the best the best jelly beans, in my opinion. I don't like the regular ones. They're just sugar. I don't like those. I like the ones that are, with the natural ingredients in the middle. I mean, they're still sugar. Believe me, they are still sugar. But, they're better. They're a better quality. I don't really like the ones that come out at Easter time. They're just generic. I mean, ooh, I wonder if they would be having a That would be so cool. So Jelly Belly, if you do not know, um, used to have, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have like a warehouse sale, and regular people could go in there and buy like an entire case of whatever Jelly Belly it is. Um, you could buy Jelly Bellies, you could buy Tummy Bears, that's their gummy bear. You could buy you could buy a whole entire case of those um, jelly belly, jellied scorpions or whatever they are. Um, my uncle used to bring home the weirdest stuff when he worked there. I really don't think he should have been allowed to work there, but yeah, that's coming from a now I know place, and uh, I don't understand though, because there was so many times when my parents, or not so many times, there was times when my parents left us alone with them, you know? Uh, my uncle and the lady who became an aunt. I never knew, if I did, I was like so little that I don't remember. But I never knew uh my uncle was like never married, and I never knew. I knew he. I don't even think I knew that he had kids, and then somebody said something. I'm like, oh, he does, kind of thing. Because we don't hang out with that uncle very often, and now I know that there's a very good reason. But yeah, we didn't hang out with that uncle very often. It was like see him at Christmas time, see him at Thanksgiving. That's about it. For some reason, it's kind of weird because we have my Aunt Ruby at activities all the time, and then this time it was like um this time it was um like we don't have that uncle at things very often, and it's like, why not? And then there's a really good reason for that. So anyway, um it's like one of those deep dark secrets about people's families that you don't share. Anyway, okay, there's gotta be something good. Well, okay, um, my mother-in-law bought TV yesterday, apparently, or she like bought them on Amazon, um, and my husband was supposed to go over there and plug them into the TV, and she doesn't listen anyway, but she bought new ones because her old ones don't work. All she can hear is static. And it's like, I kind of wanted to find out if, I kind of wanted to borrow the old set to see if I could hear the TV better. Like, I kind of want to get a set myself, but I know that if I wear headphones too long, my ears start hurting. And you're probably saying adjust them so they don't do that. They do that anyway. They used to do that, you know, the ones with the really thin bar at the top, and they could break so easily. They used to do that on those too, and you know, in the big poofy part, where the speaker was on both ears. So, yeah. Anyway, um, but yeah, we had to go do that. So, we ended up going to Walmart yesterday, but we had to go to the North Carson Walmart because they're the only ones that have my honey roasted Skippy. I like honey roasted better than I like regular peanut butter. So, like every morning, I've been having toast with honey roasted peanut butter on it. It's just, you know, an easy breakfast. I know that I'm going to get tired of it eventually, but, um, you know, I'm probably gonna get tired of it eventually, but for now, it's a good breakfast. I would like to get it to where, like, we could have the peanut butter toast and eggs and, sausage and bacon and, you know, all that fun stuff that you don't get to eat very often because, you know, you have to go to work all the time. Um, you know, in my case, I would like to be able to have all that stuff. We used to get turkey bacon that you microwaved. Um, but anyway, okay, so you know, we did our little bit of grocery shopping. We didn't have much to do, but we did a little bit of grocery shopping, and then um, and then we and, yeah, we did our little bit of grocery shopping, and then we got to go over to because, like I said, I needed Coca Cola. But it has to be the fountain drink Coca Cola. It doesn't work so well if it's been in the bottle sitting there on the shelf forever. Even if it's the cold version, it just doesn't work the same. So we went to In-N-Out for dinner last night, even though we shouldn't have because, you know, that's like taking money from the trip. Um, or, you know, money that we could have been otherwise using for bills or food. I told my husband we needed to buy mac and cheese last night, and he's like, I think we have another box. It's like, okay. We did have another box, but that's not the point here. Yeah, so I took out all of the sand and stuff, so now there's no fish. Anyway, so um, there's an episode in Nash Bridges called Jackpot or something like that. It's two-part. It's a two-part episode, and the problem is that um, they are San Francisco cops, like on streets of San Francisco. But they must be working in a different. That would have been a nice crossover at some point. Have the hold on, have Is that Michael Douglas? The one on Streets of San Francisco. I think it's Michael Douglas. Not entirely sure. Um, but anyway, I think it was Michael Douglas, and he was the rookie cop in that show. So I think it would have been interesting if they would have brought in Michael Douglas's character as like a um as Steve. I can't remember his last name, but anyway, he played Steve, and um and I think it would have been good to like bring him in as he's almost retiring, but he does one last the one last hurrah case, or they brought him out of retirement for this one last hurrah case, something like that. um I don't I really don't know if they could have even done that, or if they'd even thought of doing that. Okay, my phone has a problem where, like, if you have a call and you decide you don't want to pick it up, it doesn't sit there with a um you know with the screen turned off. It sits there with the screen turned on. So you have to go and turn it off. It's really annoying. It's probably just a setting in my phone somewhere, but yeah, it's really annoying. It's like it got an update at some point and now it's just being, or maybe it was when we got the new phones. I think it's an update though. And it's really annoying. Um, so anyway, yeah, we're sitting there and I could barely hear it, but I was listening to my story a little bit. One of the future ones called Sweet Revenge. Um, it's basically Sweet Revenge because Raphael likes Pepper. Pepper likes Raphael. But her dad, Matt, is standing in the way because Raphael is 3 years older than Pepper. And Matt thinks that's not okay. So, I thought 3 years older, that's not too bad. And, they like each other. And, they, well, the only problem is that they only get to go out with each other when they're at, I mean, they only get to go out with each other during the summer, and then, he brings her back to the ship, and then the ship goes back home. So then, they're like maybe going out for 2 weeks. That's about it. So it's a long distance relationship, and um, and I'm still trying to piece together his life. Raphael, yeah, I'm still trying to piece together Raphael's life to where it actually makes sense, because I put something in one book and another something in another book, and I think the book after this one, after the one in the one that's at the temporary end so far is probably going to have some of this stuff where they're like sitting there and they do not know what the real story is because um, Raphael is such a good liar that he's kind of forgotten what the truth is. Not a malicious liar, but like not telling the whole truth or only telling the whole truth to Pepper, and like maybe he's sitting there at the dinner table or some kind of meal, and that's the way I was thinking of it. Is like they're sitting there at a meal and Raphael says something, like maybe somebody asks him a question and Raphael says something and then Pepper goes, "You told me this." And then that's like when Raphael's like trying to figure out what really is the truth and what really isn't. You know? So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Because I'm thinking that maybe Raphael's parents lived on a different ship until something happened. Until something happened and they had to move to Italy, and I got to come up with why he was kidnapped when he was 8 years old. I've got to come up with well, if he's 8 years old, that means his brother was 3 years old. So anyway, I got to come up with something for that, and then okay, so he worked at a Shatana's kind of, remember we don't talk about Shatana's on Minecraft streams, but, he worked at a Shatana's place at one point, so I gotta come up with that, and then, on top of that, Riley was bartending at one point. At one point in the storyline for them, they both got shot. And there's something about, there was something about Raphael getting two $1 bills or something like that. I think they were $1 bills that had, one had the mom's name on it and one had the dad's name on it. I don't know if I established what their names were. Or it could be that they used to live on a fishing boat and they refused to give the, they refused to give the enemy pirates 50% of all their fishing profits. It could be something lame like that. But I kind of wanted to make them, like rival pirate gang. Like maybe they worked on Angelano's ship. I typically call him Angel. Angel, if they worked on Angel's ship, then that would be pretty good. Or maybe like she worked on Angel's ship, and he, like came in and charmed her away. And he's a, fishing boat guy. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have to come up with something because, like, right now, their whole background story is totally disjointed and makes no sense. That was the other idea, is that maybe one of the guys in town had a grandparent, and they happened to have a treasure map because their grandparent had it, and they were willing to give it to, Sean and Ashley because, they were willing to give it to Sean and Ashley because, they obviously weren't going to be able to find it. Like, I was thinking Sam Crenshaw, but then, what if Raphael and Riley have the, have the pirate map, the treasure map, and, like, what if they had the treasure map and they didn't really know it? It was like at the back of the family Bible. A lot of people have a family Bible, like where they wrote down all of the births of the family, and I mean, the names of the family, when they were born, when they died, and all that stuff. And like, maybe there's this, maybe they thought it was just the regular map of, like Bethlehem and Mount Ararat and all that, and they're like, no, that's obviously Africa. And they pull it out, and oh, and then there's the picture that they thought they were seeing behind it or something. Ooh, that actually sounds better. But it also sounds good that, like Katie had it. So, I don't know. But I'm thinking if Katie had it, then Katie's gonna want to be part of it, and that's not gonna necessarily be a good thing. And then somewhere in there, Ashley needs to be a bounty hunter, and she needs to be like the worst kind, the kind that would, um, the kind that would handcuff a chain to the motorcycle somehow, and drag you in like they used to in the Old West times, where you're on a rope, and I mean, you're tied with a rope, and um, the cowboy that's riding the horse is, literally dragging you along. She'd be that kind of bounty hunter, I would say. Okay, it's 10:03 and we haven't done one GTA thing or one Forza Horizon thing. So, and I didn't want to stand here too long because, like I said, I'm trying to finish the story, and I didn't get 10 pages done yesterday at all. I've probably, um, I've probably already run through my 5 extra days. I don't know. What I'm gonna have to do is what did I say, 253? So that means I got like 26 days that I need, and I don't know if there's 26 days left between now and... Oh, this is a month until the date after the birthday party. Yesterday was a month until the birthday party. So I think I think it can happen, but I don't know. Um, I'm trying. I really am trying to get it done before then. I don't know if it's going to get all published and everything, but I'm trying to get it to where it's in a done position, and um, hopefully it'll be all good. I slept last night, but I kept waking up, and because I needed to go to the bathroom, and I was just like, I don't want to. So I didn't get up, and I didn't get up. I didn't do what I needed to do until 6 o'clock. And then I got up, and, no, it might have actually been closer to 6:30, but whatever. In the 6 o'clock hour. And my husband was already up and going off to work, and I'm like, oh, so it's Reno. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Told him to be careful, and I got mad this morning. My husband likes to go and leave the garbage in the garbage can, not taking it out, knowing that I can't always lift it. And so I got mad, and I went and opened went and took the thing out of the bag and tied it off, and literally put it just outside the door. He's supposed to do the stuff in the kitchen. Like the dishes and throwing the garbage, because I can quite often not lift the garbage. Although we haven't been using cans and glass jars and stuff, so it's not so bad now. But I'm getting tired of that. He didn't even put the can out on Monday night. So we had to wait until this coming, they come and pick it up on Tuesdays. So, we're gonna have to wait until this coming Monday to put it out, so it can be out there on Tuesday. Okay, so what can I do for GTA? Oh, speaking of that, we were able to actually play together the other day. But I wasn't streaming. See, I could have streamed this and then had that as the YouTube video. Because that's what I do. I stream it over here and then put it over there. And I was too afraid that we weren't going to be able to play together as soon as we did that to stream it, or to even, like, record it with my phone. I probably could have recorded it with my phone. Wouldn't have been as good a recording, but, it would have been good. I think. Speaking of that, I need to take my phone to the thing, the Verizon store and ask them if there's a way to get my camera to automatically rotate when I'm taking a video, because I don't always want it up and down. Sometimes I want it side to side so it's a better video. Um, and it doesn't work. So anyway, oh, so I already did my dream snap for the week, and I'm pretty happy with it. Um, oh yeah, it was springtime, so I'm like, okay, we'll have springtime in the orchard, and it probably would have been better with with the pink cherry trees. But I was like, we'll have springtime in the orchard, and like have some topiaries there, and hopefully it'll do pretty good. It'd be like really funny if it was like 4,000 moonstone worthy, but I seriously doubt that. I had Eric sitting on a bench, and it was pretty awesome. Oi. Okay, I'll get that underground stuff done later. Starting to feel claustrophobic again. Um, let's see here. GTA. Yeah, like I said, I could do um the car wash, or I think I have the repair shop. I don't know. I had all sorts of businesses on my girl character, and for some reason, the guy character, even though I said, um, they're like linked. Even though I said link them, they don't have the same businesses, and like he's got a facility, but she doesn't. I'm gonna have to have her. I'm gonna have to have her get the facility too, and then we're gonna have to do all those doomsday heist things again. And it really sucked because I was the host, so it was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And they're like, okay, hang on, we'll get it done, and then you can do that. And I was like, okay. I just really don't want to do it, but I did get the Doomsday Heist done as host, and I really, really, really want to take a jetpack and blow it up. Because everybody's sitting there telling me, it drives like a helicopter, it drives like a helicopter. Uh huh. In what world does it drive like a helicopter? Because I can drive a helicopter on that game. I cannot do an airplane. I obviously cannot do a jetpack. But I can do a helicopter. And it was driving me crazy. Because I would go, oh, he's on the train. Okay. Anyway, like I would go left and it would go right, or so then I've got my husband, Darth Caesar 00, and I've got Squibs. I think it's Squibs 799, and then Ninja something. I've really got to memorize his name. Anyway, Ninja something, and I've got them all talking to me in the headset, because that was the only way I was going to be able to talk to Squibs and Ninja. If it's just me and my husband, we don't bother because um, we're like in the same room. If we go and try to talk to each other on headset, it just repeats. It's kind of like an echo. It echoes. No, yeah, it doesn't echo. So it just echoes what I say and what he says. So it gets really annoying. Apparently, you have to be a certain distance away. And we can't, like, just move, say, his whole setup to upstairs because it probably still wouldn't fix the problem, for one. But, there was another reason for that. Oh, and then I'd never see him. He'd just end up going upstairs and I'd never see him. So, yeah. I insisted that we have it this way. But then this way is kind of annoying because if I'm trying to concentrate on my story and he's playing GTA with people, sometimes when he's doing that with the farm, but it's mostly when he's playing GTA or Sea of Thieves, he'll start yelling because the game did something that it's not supposed to do, and he gets super mad and he starts yelling, but he doesn't realize he's yelling because he's got the headset on. And he's told me that several times that he can't tell how loud he's getting because of the headphones, but then he goes and tells me, "I'm not yelling." Yeah, you are. You really, really are. Oh my goodness. But anyway, we gotta figure out something to do for GTA. See, I know that there's like GTA, like 1 and 2 or whatever, and then there's GTA 3 and GTA San Andreas and GTA, I think it was 4 and now 5. And then 6 is going to come out eventually. But I'm just going to end up calling it GTA because, yeah, it's going to progress. It's going to get bigger. And I really hope that GTA 6 has, like, all of the cities that it's ever had ever. But new technology version. Like, instead of having the, forgive me, Nintendo, but instead of having the 8-bit or less version, like Nintendo used to have, back in the 80s, bring it up to the way it is now, or make it even better than the way it is now. That's something I could do today too. Instead of working my story, I could do this. No, I don't want to do that. I really don't. I want to at least finish the chapter and then we'll see what I do after that. I'm probably gonna be like, I want to finish the next chapter. I would not be surprised if I said I wanted to finish the next chapter and, I get that done. Or I get it partially done and then give up and say, you know what? I'm going to put Nash Bridges on the TV over there and I'm going to play this. Yeah. We gotta do something on GTA though. Or Forza, or both. Maybe have a GTA Forza video. There is one thing that I keep trying to do, and I cannot figure out how to do it. I got it there once, but not close enough to get the Smash Me sign. I call them Smash Me signs because it says fast on it. I don't know exactly what it is, but it says fast on it, and it's on top of a building, and it's like, well, that's not fair because you can't get that sign. I've been trying to get that sign and I cannot get it. I even had my husband try to help me and he can't get it either. So, yeah. I mean, I know I will get a way better feeling of satisfaction doing it myself, but even if I could get my husband to get it, I'd be happy because eventually, oh, what was that on? Oh, yeah. Okay, the Dick Van Dyke Show. Rob found out that Laura's got a secret account, a secret bank account, and his friend Buddy is saying, all sorts of mean things like, maybe she's not happy at home. Maybe she thinks she needs this for, a way to escape someday or something like that. I don't know if he was like saying it, those exact words. Like I think they were talking about how'd you do on anniversaries and birthdays this year, and Rob's like, I've got them covered, or I had them covered, and I think it was that he had just given her flowers yesterday or last week or something like that. And anyway, so he goes and tells her about it, and she goes and explains to him that she gets, she wants to be able to make her own money, but she knows she has to be a housewife. So then she goes and asks, she gets money from him, and she puts it away in her savings account, and then she forgets that it's from him, so then it's hers, and the only reason why she wants it is so she can get him that awesome sports car that he's been looking at for years. But the problem is that the way she's doing it, she's getting like $25 here, $25 there, and she's not going to be able to afford that until they're little old people, and I don't mean that in a mean way, but like they're not going to be able to get it until they're old and gray, and anyway. Anyway, I'm happy that I made $6 from the last purchase of my books. I think they still owe me some, but I don't know. because I bought one of my books. I know it's ridiculous for me to have to buy my book, but that's what happened. Anyway, I bought one of my books in October, I think, and then I bought, or November, one of those two. And then I bought another one in, uh, if I bought the one in October, I bought the next one in November. And if I bought it in November, then I bought the next one in December. Anyway, I bought, you know, two of my books, but I got paid for one of them, as far as I've seen. So I don't know. I'm very confused, and normally my book purchases are so far away that they're so far away from each other that it's easy to tell, but this time it wasn't. So I don't know. But I've got $6 and something cents in my bank account right now from my book sales, and I'm very, very happy about that. And I've made at least $60 from them, so I'm pretty happy. Yeah, so I think the um summer after the ship goes to the new owners, because there's a number one and there's a number two, and the problem is that um the number one's like the generally on I mean, the ship. It's kind of like the generally on the Dukes of Hazzard. It's an important character in the storyline, but it doesn't talk in. I mean, it kind of talked in the cartoon show, but he never talks. But he's a very important part because um, without the journal, without the Journal Lee, there pretty much would be no show. Um, like like Knight Rider. What would the show have been without Kit? Nothing. Or maybe he would have had Himikuda. I don't know. um, I bring up the Himikuda because it's like it's one of those cars that they only made like 1,000 of them. They didn't make very many, and um, it was Nash's brother's on Nash Bridges. It was Nash's brother's car, and he got gifted it before he went off to um, whatever war that was. I think they said Korea, but I could be totally wrong. But anyway, he went off to some war, and he got shot down, but they thought he was unalived, and it turns out that his brother was alive, but for some reason he's in hiding and all of a sudden a drug dealer, which is not good. And I'm sorry if you also have a Samsung TV and you've been watching it and it's your first time, because I just spoiler alerted it for you. But Actually, I just thought of that. What if you have a Samsung TV and you're like, oh, hey, wait a minute, I got TV shows on here. And then you're like, watching the TV shows and you're like, Nash Bridges, that sounds pretty cool. And, ooh, it's got Don Johnson? Okay. And, ooh, Cheech Marin? That's even better. And then one of the episodes has Don Johnson's partner from when he was on um, Miami Vice. Is that even right? Um, hey Google, name Don Johnson TV shows. Oh no. Yeah, Miami Vice. Oh, he had Miami Vice, Tales of the Unexpected, The Long Hot Summer. Apparently, he was on Saturday Night Live for a while. And they totally skipped over the fact that he was Nash Bridges. Rude. And it's pretty cool because Nash Bridges has a photographic memory. So there's certain parts of the show that don't quite make sense because if he's got a photographic memory, he should be able to. I would think that he should be able to go, oh, that's who that is. Like to hear a name and oh, that's who it is. But they don't always do that. They do the normal memory thing where it's like Alexander Hamilton. Where do I remember that name? Yeah. That was the first name that popped into my head. Cause who shot Alexander Hamilton? This was a commercial. The guy was eating peanut butter, and I want to say it was a Skippy commercial. I don't know if it was a Skippy commercial, but I want to say it was because like the guy's eating regular peanut butter, and and I always thought he was saying Eamon Burr because he has peanut butter in his mouth, but I think they were like advertising you eat our peanut butter and this isn't going to happen to you, and if you eat their peanut butter it is, or something like that. I actually don't know what the commercial was about, but I remember it was Who Shot Alexander Hamilton. It was a radio contest, and he was trying to say Aaron Burr. And fun fact for you, I'm pretty sure those two guys in Disneyland in the picture frames in the birthday scene, pretty sure that's Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr shooting at each other. Although those two guys in the picture frames, I think shot each other because, they're ghosts. So either the one was haunting the other, and then when they died they decided to shoot each other for the rest of their life, or something, I don't know. But I know it was Who Shot Alexander Hamilton, and the answers Aaron Burr. Okay, it is 10:33. Are we gonna not do something for GTA today? Sure seems like it. It seems like, I don't feel like playing it right now. Um, but to keep up with what we've been doing, I need to. Because I like that. Like, it's a different game every day. Or different games every day. so then nothing gets boring, you know? I was just thinking that if I do Golf with Your Friends and Pac-Man today, um, that takes me until noon probably. Um, and then I wouldn't have to stream them tomorrow. But again, that takes away from the streaming something different every day. Um, I don't mind streaming the same thing every day. It's just I'm afraid that y'all are gonna get bored because it's the same thing every single day. And I'm afraid I'm gonna get bored. And then now all of a sudden there's like underwater there was the noises like the internet way back when. Okay. Um or maybe I'll get done with that chapter and start the other chapter and that's when I'll do it. I don't know. It's supposed to be streaming GTA. Nobody ever watches me play it. Um, well, not nobody, but I hope that's one of her little fake stories. So I started watching Penny the Talking Cat and um I pretty much think it's stupid. Because I thought it was going to be an actual cat that talks like Sam. And I asked him this morning. I asked him this morning if he had anything to do with the mess that I woke up to this morning. And he goes, yeah. Really seems like he's been being a bully lately. And whether it's your cat or your kid, I very much encourage you to not let them be a bully. Okay, of course, whether you have cats or kids or dogs, any kind of pet, um, I recommend you putting baby locks on the cabinets because they will get in there and they will get into your chemicals and they will need a visit to the doctor. And that's always so expensive. Um, like for a while there, our doctor was $46 for a visit. And I thought that was ridiculous because we had been only paying a smaller amount, like 40 or something like that. Anyway, that went up to 46, and I think it's more than that now. Um, but you know, they're a really good kitty doctor. Except I don't like getting glared at by that one doctor. Um, she she seems to think that everybody should be rich enough to um take their cat in to the doctor every day. You know, like they sneeze, bring them into the doctor. And it's like, okay, I'm smart enough to know that when they're sneezing, it's, just they need to sneeze. I don't need to take them in for every little thing that goes on with them. Although, I do want to take Ben into the doctor, get him, get blood work and all that stuff because he sneezes more than normal, and I know that this is a problem, but we can't afford it right now. And as soon as we get back from the trip, I'm telling my husband, we need to get this done. I mean, we still need to get the HOA paid, but, you know. Anyway, I'm getting hungry. Actually, I've been hungry, but I really need to stop this. I think okay, so what I'm telling y'all is that I need to be talked into stopping. And I wish one of you was here so you could say, okay, stop for now. You can always come on here later. I need that. But I'm like a start a project, you gotta finish the project person. So I will sit there and, finish as much as I can until bedtime kind of thing. And not eat unless somebody tells me to. So, yeah, okay. So, I've just proven that you can jump into a thing of water and be perfectly okay. But that's not really true because we're in creative mode anyway, so I would have survived no matter what. um, yeah, okay, so Preston in his videos, Preston plays. Um, Preston plays Preston Games or something like that. Um, I know he was Preston Plays, but now he's got like a second channel, Preston Games or something like that. So anyway, he used to just do Minecraft, but then now he's been doing some Roblox stuff with Brianna, and it gets kind of annoying because, like, I went on there to see his Minecraft stuff, and except for that, I like seeing them play games because they're entertaining. Um, it's like, is it really worth it anymore? And it is. It's just sometimes I'm like, I want to reduce the number of people um, that I'm subscribed to, and most of the people I'm subscribed to don't even like post anymore. Or if they do, it's like not very often. I really like oh, what's their names? Todd Talks. Todd. Yeah, I think it's Todd Talks. He's got the buttons like some of the other cats do. And the cool thing about Todd though is that he was able to tell them that there was something wrong with his sister Glamour, and they didn't quite understand at first, and then they're like, "Oh, there's a problem with Glamour," so they um so Todd said something about tummy ouch glamour, and they're like, they didn't know what to do at first, but then they're like, okay, we'll make our doctor's appointment, and we'll find out what's wrong with glamour. And then they did, and it ended up that it was something that couldn't be fixed. So it's just, make her as comfortable as possible. And they did, and she's no longer with them, but, because she passed away. But they got a new little guy, Henry, and I think that's really funny because okay, they've got Todd, Polly, and Henry, and one of the other families that I watch, um, maybe Half Asleep Chris. Anyway, he's the one with the kitty cats Ralph and Bella. I think they got a new kitten and named him Henry. So it's a very popular kitty cat name this year. I wouldn't go with Henry. I would go with I would go with Hayden if it was an H name that I was trying to go for. But or William or Jake. I don't know. I don't think Jake's a very good cat name now that I think about it. But it's better than what my sister came up with. One of her cats only had 3 legs, so they called him Jumping Tripod. JT for short. um, my grandparents had a dog, and she only had 3 legs. I know we were talking about cats, but she had a dog, and her name was Cricket. I don't know why Cricket, but that's what they named her. And it really kind of, it was just fine. She was her story is that she was a 4-legged dog that totally ran around like she was a 4-legged dog, and something happened and she got one of her legs ran over. So, it got removed, but she's still running around like she had 4 legs, even though she only had 3. So, she lived a good life. But they moved to Arizona. She decided she didn't like it, and she went off and, I don't know if this is a real thing or if they were just saying that for like TV shows and stuff, but like um there's the thing where the Native American will go and or at least used to. That was probably before hospitals were good for them. But they'd go and walk out in, you know, as far away from the family and everybody as possible, and wherever they were unalived is where they would uh, where they'd be when you come looking for them. Or I'm doing I'm doing a very bad explanation. I'm so sorry. Um, I know what I mean. It's just when I'm saying it, it doesn't sound right. But anyway, it seemed like Cricket was doing something like that. I think she was trying to go back to Sioux Soon, where they used to live. She's like, I do not like Arizona. I don't like Arizona either, but there's another reason for that, so. And it's not like all of Arizona, I guess, but I'm sure make it sound that way. Um, I'm pretty sure it's not all of Arizona, but I sure make it sound that way because that's where that's where my mama lived, and it sure doesn't seem like they did a whole lot to try to make her all better. And how does one not find out that the patient was diabetic until after they passed away? Anyway, let's change the subject because otherwise I'll get hostile and yeah, be upset and but anyway, I don't know what I would name a animal nowadays. I might even name it Michael, but we've already got one in the house, so. um, but I've been sticking with little short names. Sam, Ben, Ben, and then Sam. Coral came with her name. Bobby came with her name. So, yeah. Okay. That's the thing. I just don't know what I would name them. Like you got to think, okay, if they get in trouble, are you going to be able to say their name fast enough to get them to get themselves out of trouble? Like if they are in the garbage can, are you going to want to yell Chewbacca? Or I would not name a cat C3PO. Well, any pet, but I definitely would not name it C3PO. We were supposed to have a cat named Leia. I kept trying to tell my husband we needed to get Coral a sister, and we were going to name her Leia because, because of. It's gotta be on the Mark Twain. Okay. Anyway, we're going to name her Leia because that's, Princess Leia from Star Wars. And, original Star Wars, not the Disney. Um, just got the feeling that somebody was going to argue with me. It's Amidala, or it's Rey, or. So I was thinking of the original series, though. Okay, so I guess we'll get off of here and then we'll do something real quick on GTA. Like, I I don't want to play that today though. But if I go in there long enough to, do something, you know, maybe throw the guy out of the nightclub or get him to the hospital or get him home or whatever we're supposed to do for today. Usually I go and try to photo the animals, and I just don't want to do that. I did the photo of the animals day before yesterday, I think it was. Um, I want to get my story done. I wish I could show you guys how I do my story because that would be really cool. But I would do that on a I would probably come up with an example or maybe not an example, maybe just a story that um oh, there you go. Okay, so I've told you about Pirate's Daughter and Misfortune. Well, um I haven't audioed them yet, or maybe the parts of Esperanza's party where I didn't have all of the voices figured out yet. Something like that. There were some parts where, Hayden was talking and he had a different voice than he does now. I don't exactly like how unclear his voice is now, but it's, I think, a lot closer to what it would actually be. Because in my head, he sounds totally American, like Brad Pitt. Um, Not exactly like Brad Pitt, but like the way that um how he talks, where he's like totally clear and he sounds like he's from America because he is, I believe. And you know, um, or like Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, any of those, they were totally clear that it wasn't like Stallone where some of the words he says you may not be able to understand because of his accent. He's gotten a lot better though. Because I remember like I've seen some uh movies where some of his words weren't quite clear because his accent was getting in the way, but then like you can understand like all of his words now. Or Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's got an accent. I don't know, just I love people's accents. You know, especially since I don't think I have one. I grew up in California, northern California, so I wasn't even like down in the stereotypical Valley Girl part of California. I was, you know, just from California, so I don't think we have accents, but maybe I have one because like we hung around grandma and grandpa, and one of my grandparents one of my grandparents on my dad's side was from Texas, and the other one was from Arkansas. I thought that was so cool. Um, Apparently, grandma was married to somebody else, and yeah, I think grandma was married to somebody else, and they ended up getting a divorce, and then she ended up finding grandpa, and it's like, wow, it's such a small world. And I think grandpa was older than grandma by like a lot, you know. But still, they were able to, you know, get together and have four more kids, and uh, it's pretty awesome. Wait, four? Yeah, four. Wow. Yeah, you know, the things you think about when you're playing video games. I'm sure other people think of how can I build this better? Can can I build this at all? You know, and usually I'm like that, but right now I'm trying to get um, the ocean built in here, and apparently we're gonna have to take the water out of over there because hold on, the water out of over there because it's too high up because we just need the water this level right here. And I'm thinking it's kind of dangerous to have the water so close to the high school because, the ocean's so close to the high school. Because somebody is going to cut class and try to go surfing. And maybe they'll succeed. Um, See, I think the water's too high up. I'm not sure though. Um, I don't see any animals over there. So either they despawned or I took out um enough of the stuff to. Okay, it's officially 11. I've got to stop this. So, oh, so something that I'm trying to do that I'm hoping will make you happy is tell you how much uh, my books are. I wrote the books, I edited the books, I re-edited and re-edited and re-edited and try to get them perfect. There was some stuff the other day that I just didn't feel like fixing, but I, I just don't exactly like the way it was written. So I think I finally went back and fixed it, but I don't know. But it's still, I think it's good stuff. And it's all off the top of my head or inspired by a TV show or book or movie. But I've got to say it was inspired by because I went and made it my own thing. Um, I fit it into my storyline. But, most of the stuff is off the top of my head. And, um, you know, I just, I just love writing books. Ow. Okay, now I really need to get off because the other middle finger's being stupid. I was trying to tell my husband that I definitely need another long finger brace, not short finger. So I actually got two sets, but the problem is that each one comes with a tall finger brace and a short finger brace. I don't think that you're going to need two long finger braces at the same time. Why would you need that? That would be ridiculous. But yeah, my fingers are being ridiculous right now, and um, but I can wait until Friday. Hopefully, we'll have enough money to do it. Because these fingers are being stupid. I think what I'm going to do is take some kind of medicine. Yeah, that's what I thought. Wait, I'm not understanding this. Okay. Yeah, I'm really not understanding this because I keep doing that and okay, it looks like it's solid. Well, it's still moving, but it's gonna be moving because it's trying to be like real water. Okay. So, okay. I already told you about my books. Like I said, all of the paperbacks are $20 except for Coral's book, which is only 6. And then the Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, and Hard Times are all 26 for the hardback. And Esperanza's Party is 24 for the hardback. The Island is 25, and Lessons in Love is 27 for the hardback. It is not available for hardback. Adopted Coral is not available for hardback for some reason. I think it said it was like 4 pages too short. So anyway, but the ebooks, Coral's book is $2.99. Pirate's Daughter and Esperanza's Party are $3.05, and all others are $5. So, I don't know why, but it's like on one day the algorithm says that I'm going to get $2 if I make it this price. And then on the other days, the algorithm's like, no, you're going to get $2 only if you make it this price. And it's like, what the heck? I don't know. So I just may make them all a standard, except for except for Coral and her ebook, because $2.99 seems like a good price for that one. But I think I'm going to take the two and make them $5 as well, just so it's all standard. So I can say it's $5. And then I think I will go and take, for the hardbacks, I will take Esperanza's Party and um, change it to 26 and the island and change it to 26. But I cannot bring Lessons in Love down to 26 because I made it to where to where I was making $5 from it. So I don't understand that, but yeah. Yeah, see, I just can't stop. But anyway, most people will not tell you the price of their merch, but they'll say, hey, if you buy 5 things, you can get a discount. And I'm not meaning to target them. But I am pointing it out that it's ridiculous that, they're only giving a discount if you buy 5 things, or if you buy the other number of things. I can't remember what it was. But if you buy that, then you get a certain discount, and it's like, but what if I was only going on there to buy the one thing? I obviously don't get a discount, and I still have to pay shipping and handling, and it's, speaking of that, you get a discount, but do you get free shipping and handling? I seriously doubt that. Now, my books, on the other hand, they are available on Amazon, and they are available for shipping and handling. I mean, free shipping and handling. As long as you're buying a thing that before tax is $25, or before tax, after tax. I think it's after tax. Um, as long as you're buying something that's over $25, you get free shipping and handling. So maybe you're buying Esperanza's Party for yourself, and you're like, you know what, I want free shipping and handling because, the book's only $20. If you're buying the paperback, maybe buy the $6 book for your kid. Or if you're buying the hardback, which I would like to get the hardbacks as well, just to see what they look like. But maybe you're buying the hardback, and you yeah, maybe you're buying the hardback, and that's all you buy. But it's definitely going to be over the it would definitely be in the free shipping and handling range. Anyway, it's really cool that it's available for that, and I love it. So, how many people are going to make you that deal? You don't have to pay shipping and handling, you just have to buy the book, and, it's really cool. That does not mean that I am paying the shipping and handling. It's that Amazon has a thing to where if you buy $25 or more of stuff, you get free shipping and handling. So, they end up, I guess they end up paying for it. I don't know how that works, but anyway, it's really cool. It's included, so it's not, you're not paying for it, and it's really awesome. And I know I'm harping. Anyway, so I'm like trying to be a new person. I mean, I'm trying to be the new YouTuber that actually tells you about, the prices, and if there's going to be a price increase. I think there's not going to be a price increase, like, ever. I mean, like I said, that I really want to make the 24 a 26 and the 25 a 26. But the only reason why I'm doing that is because the first 3 are 26 for the hardback. And I'm like, okay, I would like to be able to just say the hardbacks are 26, with the exception of the one that's 27 for some reason. And that's what it is, because I can go for the for the paperbacks, and say they're all $20 except for Coral's book, which is 6. Coral's book is a children's book, and I wrote it myself, and it's got actual pictures that I took of my cats and my husband, and, yeah. So they were a lot better when they were in color, though. I pressed the wrong button. and I could have sworn that I pressed the correct button, and I pressed the wrong button, and it didn't do it right. So anyway, I'm hoping to have enough pictures between my phone and my between my phone and my computer that we can write a really nice book about Ben. It's going to include, just to warn y'all, it is going to include the fact that he trusts me so well that I was able to take a picture of his eye. I was able to take a picture of his eye, and it was so cool because until um, I was kind of seeing something in the picture and I didn't know what I was seeing. And I think we were in Walmart at the time, and I zoomed in on the picture just to see what was there. And it turned out that my desk was reflected in the picture, his baby brother on the back of my chair, the lamp, um, a whole bunch of stuff was in the reflection of his eye. And it turns out that I probably could have won if I would have just thought of it a week sooner. But I would have had to have like two pictures and say, okay, this is the actual shot, and this is uh, this is the actual shot. This is what I thought was so interesting about it. You know, would have had to do it that way. And I thought it was, that everybody would be like, oh my gosh, she got a picture of her cat's eye. They'll be all creeped out. But they actually thought it was a good picture. Um, but the thing is that they weren't that interested in the story behind the picture. Anyway, I thought it was really cool. And I still have that picture, so it's probably gonna. So his story is probably gonna include that one. And I'm definitely gonna have to get a picture of me, rockabye kittying, Ben, because, he will let me do that. We do not sing the song like Rockabye Baby. We don't sing it that way. Because, I used to sing, okay, so I used to sing Rockabye Baby to Ashley, our daughter, when she was little. Well, she was probably a baby at the time. Um, anyway, I used to sing that to her, but instead of singing the scary version, because I think that gave her nightmares, I started singing Mommy'll Catch You, Cradle and All. Instead of the bad version that everybody sings to their kids. I don't like that version because think I don't like that version because somebody told me something about that song, and that's why it got started. And I'm like, okay, I cannot go and take those words and put them together with that and sing that to my baby ever. So I went and changed it, Mommy, I catch you, Cradle and All, and then she's fine. She was totally fine. Um, so so Rockabye Kitty is Rockabye Kitty. Uh, rock Rockabye Kitty in mommy's arms, safe and secure from all harms. But I sing it prettier than that, and he loves it. I don't know if he loves it like I think he loves it, but he loves it. You know, because I'm paying attention to him, and he likes that. He used to sit in my lap all the time, but I think he knows he's getting older, and I think he kind of blames me for Coral not being here anymore. I know you're thinking, how's a cat do that? And I'm like, I don't know, but I think he does. Because, like I said, they're like having a toddler in the house. And it happens to be a toddler that can jump really, really high. Of course, my babies, they don't jump really, really high anymore. They're not babies anymore. They're all senior cats, and technically, I'd like to see a senior cat that can get the zoomies like Sam. I mean, let's get one of those 23-year-old cats in here and see if they can get the zoomies like Sam. I seriously doubt that. But I also think that it's, all in how you treat your cat. If you treat your cat like an old person, uh, an older kitty, then they're going to feel like an older kitty, and then they're going to act like an older kitty. They'll be sitting there on the couch next to you and going, please help me down so I can go to the potty. They're not going to be going, oh, I can still do this. That 23-year-old cat went through a lot of stuff in their life, but they're usually still kicking butt and taking names. Okay, so when am I going to stop this video? Good question. I gotta stop it. Oh! Okay, so I looked at the thing just to make sure it was still recording. I looked at the thing that tells you that you're being, that you're recording. And for a moment there, it looked like the microphone was turned off, but there's like no way that it can be. And I realized, I think my eyes went crossed for a sec there. I don't think they ever have for real, but but every once in a while I'm like staring at something so hard that um the thing that I'm staring at goes to like like it looks like it moved, but it really didn't. I don't know if anybody else has that experience, but I do. And it's happened several times, so I just figure it was normal. Not entirely sure. Maybe that's like something I should have told the doctor about. I don't know. But they told us that, okay, so we finally were able to pay for our glasses. So, and it was funny because the day after that, we had to go back over there because we finally got the cards in the mail, the cards that we were waiting for. And we don't know if, ow, I'm about to go and take, I'm about to go and, uh, take my money over to Walmart and see if I can get more finger braces because I need another one. I need another big one. If I could get a set that's two big ones, that would be great. Because, you got more big ones than uh, you need more big ones than little ones. Because you got more big fingers. Like the middle finger, the pointer finger. Like I'm set on thumb ones. And I'm wondering what's going on here. Because, like, all of a sudden, yeah, it's getting warmer around here. Oh, that did say 6-7. Okay. Um, no, that is not a reference to, whatever's going on Roblox right now. It just happened to say 67 degrees outside, and like I said, I think I'm gonna get my peanut butter toast and take some medicine. You know, eat my peanut butter toast and then take some medicine for this stupid pains I'm having. I try not to take too much medicine because I know that if you take too much medicine, you can have, you know, stomach problems and, other internal problems. And I don't like that idea. Um, okay, we gotta do something for GTA. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. If I could get this over there, actually, I'd be really happy right about now. I can still get part of the story done today. I can still do that. I just... No, like, I don't know why, but I was, like, so tired that I was like, okay, you need to get up and go to the bathroom. Well, no, I don't want to go to the bathroom. So I didn't. Um, but anyway, I kept waking up because it's like, you need to go, and I just never did. So I finally did. Like I said at 6:30 this morning. I want to say 6. It was closer to 6 because I was questioning my husband leaving so early. Like, it's only 6 something, right? That's what I was thinking. And it turned out that, yeah, he's going to Reno today. So he's supposed to be in the store at a certain time. And so to get there on time, he had to leave early. Why? I'm just still not used to Reno days because he has to leave so early. Okay. How about I quit recording and I get to the point where I've got this um done off stream. That way I can work on my story at the same time. Sometimes that works, not all the time, but sometimes that works. And I can at least get the chapter done. I want to try to get the next chapter done though, as well. Because the next chapter he's bribing Angel, and then it's either the end of the chapter he stops Ashley from going out on Angel, and it's a really good chapter. Either that or the beginning of the next one after that is. But anyway, it's a really good chapter, and uh, all for one reason. And I'm going to make you buy it to not make you buy it, but I'm going to wait until you buy it to let you find out what happened. Although I did blab what happened just the other day. Yeah, so how about I do it that way? Because I'm trying to get this to where it connects up over there, and so far I haven't gotten there yet. Um, 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 um. Brownie points if you know what that tune is. Although the way that I said it was a little rushed. And obviously the words are not Although I can do that I can do that pretty good pretty much all day long, where I just go and take random words that somebody said and turn it into a song, or the weirdest thing that like my husband will say something weird, like no, what popped into my head does not sound appropriate anymore. Never mind. I don't know, like he'll say something like hot dogs and marshmallows. There, that's the safe version of what popped into my head. Um, it wasn't anything bad. I just think somebody will turn it into something bad. But anyway, he'll like say hot dogs and marshmallows, and I'll come up with like hot dogs and marshmallows, something like that. I can come up with weird stuff. But I was thinking something else, and then I was like, no, somebody's gonna turn that into a bad thing. Not, I mean, not that I intended it that way thing. Um, not the way it was intended. So somebody's gonna turn that into a bad thing, and I know it, so. Okay, so yeah, let's, get back over here. I don't like being over here. It's dark. Um, it's like I like being out in the, you can see the sky, and I think that's the reason why I get claustrophobic on video games is because, like, when you're in the house all day, every day, you can tell yourself, okay, you can go outside if you feel the need to, or you can open the door or something like that. And, and I don't always do that, but, I can if I need to. Well, being over here in a scary cave doesn't give you that option unless you go all the way over there, which is kind of why I'm trying to open this up more. Anyway, so, yeah, I promise to do something on GTA a little bit later if you're one of my GTA fans. And by the time you see this, I will have done it, so not a big deal. But anyway, I promise I will do something on GTA later today so we can post it for you people who only watch me on YouTube. If there's any, you know. I know there's people that watch me on YouTube, but I don't know if you only watch me on YouTube or if you try to watch me on Twitch, but I'm on at the same time every single day. I just may not be doing the video game that you care to watch, so. Like on Saturdays, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. That's not for everybody. I understand that. And I understand that most of the people that care about Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy are probably, um, are probably older people and may not know how to do Twitch. So, oh, and I've got 40 followers! Oh, yay! Okay, so, night underscore cafe 2 followed me 2 days ago, and that's the last person I haven't, given a shout out to. I think I gave them a shout out yesterday, actually, but yeah, I love giving shout outs. So even if you don't watch my stuff all the time, please follow and chat because I love seeing that a um there's a lot of followers on my list. It makes me feel like, people are liking the content, hopefully, and maybe they're liking the variety. I would love it if somebody would say, hey, I like the variety of stuff that you play. Um, you know, there may be a video game in the future that gets put in the list and you happen to like it, and then, like with Disneyland Adventures, maybe there's something on there that you haven't been able to figure out how to do. I'm going through the series right now where I'm trying to um, do all the stuff, but literally some of those videos are like maybe 5 minutes, 15 at the most, and well, unless it's one of those days when I'm doing something on one of the rides and can't get there. I want to, I want to go and get a, um, I would like to be able to get an original Nintendo or even a digital Nintendo. The ones with the preset games in it. I'd like to be able to get one of those, but have the games that I want to play in it. So I'd like to get a custom one, I guess. Like I used to love, um, Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. Super Mario Brothers 1 and 3. I couldn't get past this really big gorge in number 2, so I didn't like that one so much. But, but, um, well, I like the rest of it, and it's just you have to get past that gorge to get to the rest of it, and I couldn't do that on my own. So, like, I'd have to have a Nintendo expert like my brother to come and help me see if my sister knows how to do it. But I would like to have an original Nintendo and see if I could set it up with Twitch and all that, and be able to play those games. Have was it Throwback Thursday or something like that? So it's not just shoot 'em up and car games, but like I said, one of the games that I really liked to play was Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, and I was so good at that I could beat it in like 3 hours. I might be exaggerating. Maybe it was longer than that, but like I was so good at it that I could beat it, and it gave me such a good feeling, such a happy feeling because I couldn't beat very many other games. Like I could beat Super Mario Brothers 1, but I was still trying to figure out how to beat Super Mario Brothers 3, and now I would have a really hard time beating Super Mario Brothers because I would have a hard time beating Super Mario Brothers because I can't get past 1-8 to save my life. If somebody, if we had our Nintendo back again and somebody broke into the house and said, beat 1-8 or I'm gonna unalive you, I'd get unalived. Actually, that would probably be the one time that I remember the pattern perfectly. And I think that would be cool, when get the pattern totally perfect uh, and then be able to pick up my phone and go, yeah, please come pick this guy up. I don't like him being in my house. I'm just assuming it would be a guy. Could be a woman. So I was watching an episode of Nash Bridges, and yeah, I'm taking forever. I'm sorry to end the stream. Anyway, I was watching an episode of Nash Bridges, and the thing is that it looks dead on, does not sound like her, but looks dead on like the one that, the actress that plays Ty on Clueless, the movie Clueless. And I'm like, okay, I don't get this. Either she's really good at doing a New York accent, or she lost a lot of her accent um after or she lost a lot of her accent after Clueless, because she totally sounds like she's from New York or something. Um but still Valley Girl too. And it was kind of funny because she's like, I'm gonna change what she says. Okay, she uses a bad word. But she's like, you have Coke here? She's talking about Coca Cola. Like she was saying, uh, but I could use some kind of herbal refreshment because, she's going with the stereotypical version of what people think Californians are like. And I think that's kind of funny because, like I've always been from California and I never liked tea until my mom started making it, and she made it just right. I love it. Of course, my grandma used to make sun tea and would not put sugar in it. So that's why I didn't like her tea. Um, my mama's mom. would always make sun tea, and it just, I didn't like it. Well, now if I make up tea, I make up Lipton. Um, the 100 box, I mean the 100 tea bag Lipton. I know it's not a popular opinion on, for tea drinkers, that's not a popular opinion, the tea bag. But I don't know how to work with tea leaves or whatever British people use. So, like, I do tea bags, and that's another recipe I've got. Okay, so mom taught me this one because I wanted to know. Like, we like making or yeah, we liked making tea. Me and my sister kind of liked making some recipes, but we're like better at baking than we are at recipes. Not the sister that I play with all the time, the other sister. But so not baby doll, but I mean that's her gamer tag, remember? Um, anyway, so not baby doll, but Jennifer. We used to like baking, so we'd go and make. What does that say? Oh, so my husband keeps teasing that a certain part of Nevada would be perfect for my sister to live in because of the fact that it's got their last name right on it. It's called Smith, Nevada, and that's their last name. Um anyway, that was the phone call. Anyway, so the girl who plays Ty Frazier in the well, she's probably you know, she's probably not a girl anymore. But anyway, she was in this episode of Nash Bridges, and I'm like, whoa, that's Ty. You know, and I'm like, but that doesn't sound like Ty, but it looks like Ty, but it doesn't sound like Ty. Yeah, I every single time I'm watching that, and I don't know her real name. So I'm like sitting there going, that looks like Thai, and it doesn't sound like Thai. So she must have lost a lot of her accent, in between when she made that when she made Clueless and when she made that episode. It was just so weird. Okay. Because I'm used to her sounding the way she is in Clueless, and it, when she doesn't sound like that, it's like, what happened? Unless she was doing an accent, for the movie. And, like, it's one of those things where you totally had me fooled. And then there's, like, Carrie Ells, who plays, I don't know how to say his last name, actually, but I hope I did a decent job, who plays Wesley on The Princess Bride. Uh, or is it just Princess Bride? Either way, um, he was actually in a movie called Days of Thunder. So I'm like, so I was suddenly like, um, in Robin Hood Men in Tights, he's like, because unlike some other Robin Hoods, I could speak with an English accent. So then I was suddenly wondering, okay, is he normally speaking with an English accent? I haven't seen him in anything where he didn't have the accent except for Days of Thunder. So well, actually, I haven't seen him in anything else. You know, I've seen him in Robin Hood Men in Tights and uh, Princess Bride, and then I've seen him in Days of Thunder. So it's like, okay, did he have his English accent? Uh, I mean, you know, is he supposed to have an English accent all the time? And the when he was talking on Days of Thunder, that was a fake voice, or is it that um or is it that his voice when he's um pretending to be an English person, that's the fake voice? You know, like it just seemed like way too real. Although I think I can do a um I don't know if it's British or Irish or what, but anyway, I can do um an accent pretty good. I'm not saying it's perfect because, you know, like when I do it, inevitably some of the words end up being, um, you know, they end up being without an accent. But I'm working on it. You know, I just do it for fun at home. Like, I'm not a good actor. I kind of wanted to be. I was like, okay, if my movies ever got to be a thing, I don't want to be one of my main characters. I definitely don't. If my books got to be, you know, like a really great thing like Harry Potter or Percy Jackson or whatever, I would not want to be a main character in one of my books. And it's not because I, you know, dislike my books or something like that. It's because I'm not a good actor. So, like, I could be the person in the background that's sitting on the chair waiting to get taken somewhere else um, in the police station, or that person sitting at that coffee table. I mean that table in the Starbucks. I don't actually drink Starbucks. I think Starbucks is too expensive. I don't do coffee, but I would get hot chocolate from them in Fairfield, California. I thought that was good. That was good hot chocolate, and you get to Nevada, and it's like they can't make it anymore. Um, because we had it from there at one point. I don't even know why we were meeting that guy. Oh, it was one of those is one of those things where you put up a certain amount of money and then you're like your own business person, and you know it's your business, but technically you're owning, you know, part of the franchise or something like that. Anyway, but we didn't have the money to put into it, but he bought us Starbucks, so it was worth it. Only because he bought us Starbucks hot chocolate. Yeah. So, so yeah, we didn't end up going with that one. Yeah, it would have been a big gamble, and we can't afford to do that. I mean, if we had like extra money, you know, like if we had all the money that we needed to pay the monthly bills every month, and I know you said it's monthly. I mean, I said it was monthly bills and pay them every month. Well, yeah, you need to be able to pay them every single month, and then if you have any money left over, maybe you could try to sink it into something that you think would work out even better. But it doesn't always work out that way, especially if you're like trying to gamble or or play cards with somebody to get the money. So many TV shows show us that that is not the way to go. Where are we? Yeah, we're getting there. Anyway, so many TV shows and movies show us that that's not the way to go. Or like robbing the casino. That is not foolproof. That's probably not even a good idea. I will never say that's a good idea, actually. Um, I mean, cause yeah, they got a lot of money, but how interested are you in being unalived so you cannot spend that money? You gotta weigh that option in too. Um, because I'm an author, I think about all kinds of weird things like that, but it's like you don't if you don't think about those kind of things, it's probably safer. But like I think about those kind of things because I probably saw them on a TV show, and I'm like, okay, would I want to put something like that into my books? And usually the answer is yes, because like um, I wouldn't have my characters rob a bank or something like that because they're well off. Um, they're totally well off, and that's because we're not. So I have to live vicariously through my characters where they are well off, and they don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from or anything like that. Um, maybe, maybe I will have it to where um the book where they okay, so there's a book where Sean feels it is safer to move his family out of the mansion for a while because he keeps wanting to unalive his father-in-law, you know, his wife's dad. So, so that's a big hint right there. Um, he keeps wanting to unalive him because he's being rude. Just not keeping his words nice around Sean, and so he decides to move his family out of the house. Well, it's a little inconvenient, but uh, it's all good until the kids have the chicken pox. And I know you're probably saying there's a chicken pox shot. Well, when I was a kid, it was easier just get. There wasn't a chicken pox shot yet, so you just get the chicken pox. You have them for the. I mean, you're out of school for about 2 weeks. Because it was like 1 week while you're having the chicken pox, and then 1 week to recover. I think that's what it was. So I was out of school for a while. Because I got them when I was like 8 or 9, and I think I got them when I was 8. Anyway, um, however old I was, and I went out to the front. Uh, like I think I wasn't even dressed on the top half, and I'm like, I wasn't really itching them either. So it's like I got a very mild case, and I don't understand how, but I'm immune. So that's all that really matters is I'm immune. But anyway, I got uh the chicken pox when I was like 8 years old, and I like scratched once. That was about it, and I go up to my dad and go, I ask something like, "What's this?" And he goes, "I think we need to take you to the doctor." So we go to the doctor and find out it's chickenpox, and it wasn't like it wasn't like on um, Full House where they took it to the extreme. They're chickenpox are itchy and they're like so bad that you can't stand it, and you're making deals with your friend. Whoever scratches first is a wimp or something like that, and it wasn't like that for me. I didn't feel good. Well, yeah, I think I didn't feel good, but that was about it. I had to stay home. Okay, wait, that says public service, so let's answer that. Hello?
Hey, Mike calling from Medical Alert. How are you doing today?
That's funny because it says you're calling from public service. Do you think people are stupid? Thank you. Okay. Now that we've thwarted that problem, I will see you in the next stream or video.